again, Broncos country.
Really excited to chop up some Broncos with you all this week.
Bourbon, Broncos, and no BS.
Favorite time of the week, but not for the Raiders, Chargers, or Chiefs. So grab your brews in your fantasy league. We got that blue and orange blood that you bleed. The most loyal fans there ever could be. We are that mile high Broncos country.
Orange Weekly. Fans, brews, and Broncos news. What is up, Broncos country? Welcome to another episode of Bourbon, Broncos, and No BS. My name is Kev Dan, and tonight we are joined by Ayla, and we also got Jared and David. But Ayla is here. Ayla, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. Yeah, it's always nice to come off of a win, even if it's a little ugly. But yeah, I'm good, guys. It's nice to see you.
It's a win.
Great
Ayla,
to see you.
It's also nice to see you finally come down from your hangover from the first week.
It took the whole week, and then I actually took it easy after the win, surprisingly. Like I went the opposite way. So, yeah.
Tracks.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, guys, obviously we'll talk a little bit about the win and get your thoughts on that. For everyone else, if you want a more in-depth analysis of the game, you can check out the post-game podcast. That is wherever you listen to your podcasts now. You can check that out, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher. We are there. But, Jerry, let's start with you, man. Just some reactions to the game from Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and start with, I don't want this episode to be negative because there's going to be a lot of negative things said. There's going to be a lot of negative comments, and I know it. And I think, who is this in here? Brian over here already talking about we got to figure this out. We will get this figured out. I know there's going to be a lot of people throwing shade. Is that the term? Throwing shade.
Yeah, throwing shade
at our new head coach there.
You're not that old, Jared. I know you're old, but you're not that old.
You're old.
Yes, I am, old. But I'm also not that old.
So there's gonna be a lot of shade thrown around. A lot of people to blame. We got the win. It was ugly, but ultimately we got the win. We figured out a way to do it. And honestly, those two games sucks that we lost the first one, but they're a good way to get the process out of the way because if we were already in, like Kansas City's already played the Chargers. I was gonna say San Diego. Already played the Chargers, and I think the Raiders Chargers was a game already. So a lot of our AFC West opponents have already played each other, and we're getting there. And I just don't think we're ready for the AFC West yet, but I think we'll be ready by the time we play them.
Jared,
really quickly, D-Rock, welcome. Clayton, one of our big fans, been sending us a lot of stars. Clayton, evening, how you doing? Joey says, worst intro on YouTube. I think it's the best intro on YouTube. It's very, very long. I get that. It's different.
If we won something, where can we pick up our award? I assume that cash prize.
YouTube has a lot of money.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. Right. No, a lot of money. We just need a little bit of it.
Let's see. Clayton sending more stars, dude. Definitely appreciate the support. Thanks for everything, buddy.
Thank you, Clayton.
But let's see. Yeah, and then we'll talk about the Niners. But David, back to you here. Thoughts about the game, man?
Well, Jared really kind of echoed some thoughts that I had from my column, which will be coming out a little bit later on this week. So good job, Jared. Very prescient there. Just there's negatives for sure to take away from this game, and we'll talk through them all. But they still won the game. That's where I'm at. Like 3 days later, 2 days later, whatever it is now, they won a game, and they won a game despite playing like crap. And that at least tells me that if they put a couple more things together and look slightly less like crap, they might be able to do some good stuff. But and Jared, again, to your point, the division games haven't started for the Broncos yet, but they're coming. 2 weeks now. 2 weeks from now, they play the Raiders. That's the first one. And we really have kind of seen the Broncos be playing like they are still in the preseason a little bit. And, they've had 2 games against opponents that are expected to do less in the league this season than some of the opponents they've got coming up. So it's time to stop playing like preseason. You had 2 preseason games for your starters. That's enough. They should be ready to go now. You should be on the same page as a coaching staff and as a group of players. Go now.
Yeah, absolutely. That is it. We were kind of lucky with these first 2 games of them not being, major hitters, what looks like so much in the NFL quite yet. So yeah, it was kind of a lucky warm up for preseason, but this week will be tough coming up against the 49ers, but at least it's at home. And then, we're off to Vegas and to play the Raiders, our first division game. So by then we should really be clicked in together. Hopefully, the little things that are really chapping everybody's ass can just knock it off a little bit, because it's really the little things that it seems to be. I thought the counting down for Russell that fans started doing was kind of funny, because he did it in Seattle too. He does. He's a wait to the last second kind of guy. That's just the way he plays. I watched a lot of his games, thanks to my husband being a Seattle fan, but that's just what he does. We're always like, hey, go, 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 So hopefully either we give him more protection and he gets that time that he needs, or he learns to pick up the pace. Just, even by a second or 2 would make a big difference.
Yep. Agreed. Hey, D-Rock here. First time long time team poofball here. Expecting Javonte Williams to have a bigger role. And Clayton has a good question here. I want to get that here in a second. But first, Jared, I think you might have something that everybody should see. We sent you to help, maybe some good luck for the Broncos moving forward. It's been a rough couple of games.
So I was not allowed to open this until the show, apparently. And for the record, it is.
So we have an unboxing.
Yeah, this is an unboxing sent to. I'm not going to give my address out to everybody.
Yeah.
Sent to Jared.
It's already out there.
Jared, let's ride. Eckert. That's what it was sent to. It's let's ride in parentheses. So I'm gonna see. Let's see how this.
This is going to be so.
We're not sponsored by this. Is just we want to see Jared react to.
Oh boy, I love
awesome.
a good unboxing.
Something tells me, because I won't say a certain thing, I'm going to have to wear a certain thing.
Yeah,
interesting. It's interesting the way that. Yeah. Oh man,
there it is.
That. That's a classy shirt. I think you.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Isn't it classy?
I think it is, and I think on the after show we're going to have to see Jared take off both of the shirts he's going to be wearing now, and then put on just the one shirt. This will work for now, but
wow!
backstage.
Look at that, you guys!
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
nicely done. Well done, Kev. That's good work.
Yeah, let's ride.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, let me give
give
D-Rock just a quick shout out. Welcome to Team Puffball.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for lurking so long. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for hopefully you're liking and smashing that share button too. But yet another member of Team Puffball. Jared, what are your thoughts about that?
First of all, he said Team Poofball, so I don't think it counts.
Yeah,
He's definitely not on Team Visor.
Poofball. It's
yeah.
like, he doesn't have to be on Team Visor. He could be on Team Ayla's, where whatever the heck you want. He seems like he's on Team Poofball, which is fine.
Okay.
As long as it's not Team Puffball,
that's fine.
Then we're
that's
all
fine, Jared. That's fine. All right. Anyway, D-Rock, welcome either way. All right. Back to the Texans game, guys. And we had a good comment from Keith that the D was looking good. I know you put it up there, Kev, but man, what are you guys' thoughts about this defense so far? They look really well coached right now. They look not quite the disorganized nightmare that the offense is certainly right now. A lot of continuity with the Fangio scheme, a lot of the terminology the same. It looks like that's paying off for now. What do you guys think?
Oh, one of the big things that somebody even brought up during one of Hackett's press conference, this was Monday actually, was we were talking just about that, the continuity from Fangio, but it seems to do things a little different. For example, really kind of dialing up the blitz on those 3rd and long kind of situations. Which kind of, is a deviation from that Fangio system. And it was, Hackett brought up a good point. Our defense coordinator has a lot of experience with a lot of different coaches other than just Fangio. So, and this is probably an insight as to why he was hired, right? He can pick and choose and combine all of these systems to kind of make his own, Denver system, if you will, just based on all the experience he has. So it's fantastic to see that. It's probably making it a little more complicated, but the fact that we had Fangio, it's a good baseline for us to go into moving forward and still this updated defense, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give shout out to Caden Stearns for stepping in there. He played 100% of the snaps, and I think he played very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had a couple stops in there at the line with only a couple yard gains. He was stuffing the run. He was playing well in the pass. Got to give a shout out to him. We got to talk about some of the injuries. Pat Surtain going down earlier in the game was a little bit rough. He was out for the whole second half, but still played pretty well. The corners played pretty well to stop what they needed to do. And again, another thing that we need to mention is that both games, was it scoreless second half, right? Or did they get a field goal in the second half?
They might have gotten a field goal, but
I think they got a field goal in the second half.
I know Seattle
did.
Yeah, so one game scoreless second half, second game only a field goal in the second half, which means defensive adjustments are working. And then also if I'm gonna give a player of the game, a player on the defense for sure, I'm glad that we traded for him, and I think he's already paid dividends. Randy Gregory, he played so well. He was in every play. He was rushing the quarterback. He was getting pressure. Super happy to have him as a Bronco, and I think he definitely deserved that defensive player of the game for sure.
He plays the run really well too. Really well.
Yeah, he sheds his block to play the run so well. Yeah, it's awesome.
Absolutely.
It is weird seeing him in number 5, but
yeah, right.
It's weird when anybody changes a number. For me, I have a hard time adjusting to that. But a couple of those sacks, we just should have. Those would have been turnovers for sure. We just weren't lucky enough where the ball popped out and they hopped on it. So it was like, we have. If we get a couple of those turnovers, the game is completely different. So, turn into a bigger kind of lead with that. So I think those things will start falling into line too, because it's definitely there.
I think especially with it, you got, and we'll talk more about the San Francisco game, but with a QB like Jimmy G coming up, who's not known for his mobility, you're going to have more opportunities for some more of those strip sacks for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's definitely something to watch out for. We're dying to get one of those to land back in our hands.
That we've had two games bounce to the wrong team as far as Denver is concerned. So the odds say we're going to get one sooner or later.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're tied for third in points allowed at 26 total in the first 2 games. Now I get it. We haven't played the strongest of offenses, right? We played Geno Smith and the Houston Texans with Derek Mills. I forget his name. I assume it's Derek. He looks like a Derek. So
it's even worse, Jared. It's Davis Mills.
Oh, 2 last names. Yeah, everyone trusts somebody with 2 last names. Anyway, so look, we haven't played the strongest quarterbacks and we're tied for third, but it gives us hope again. And I think who was it that said it? Clayton. Defense is going to get better. Same with our offense once we finally get it together. I think this is a learning opportunity for everybody. If you've been watching the show since we started a few weeks back, I've been saying it over and over again. There's going to be growing pains with this new offense. There's going to be growing pains with the new team, with a young coaching staff across the board. This is something that we haven't seen before. The oldest dude on our team is probably Russell Wilson, and that includes the coaching staff, right? So like, yeah. I think it's really important to know that like there's going to be growing pains, and we're going to get better as the season goes on. And I don't think we're going to have it together by next week. So let's all pump the brakes on trying to fire everybody. I still don't think we're going to have it all together by next week. I guarantee we take at least one time out where we shouldn't need to because the offense wasn't ready to go at least once. But at least we're getting better and we're going that way. But if the defense is the same way, I think by the time we get to, this is why I have that outlook and I love it. By the time we get to AFC West rivals, we're going to be looking good.
Well, and I think one thing that we have on our side this week is 49ers are the rivals to the Seahawks. So Russell's going to have some different side of insight for our team, and hopefully they'll be able to listen to him on what he's learned, from their system, because he's gone up against them quite a bit. So
for sure. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Wilson is 17-4 against the 49ers. So he has a pretty good record, and that's the exact thing. He has that experience that I think we're really going to be leaning on, and it could be
and
more
that we should lean on, and they should listen to him. That experience is priceless when it comes to things that are kind of untalked about, advantages that we could have. So agreed.
Clayton, thanks a lot, appreciate it. We're gonna keep around, and we're not going anywhere anytime soon, so as long as you all keep
haven't
watching.
left yet.
Not yet, anyway.
Nobody's got for more stars. Yeah.
Yes, more stars as well. That is true. Appreciate the support. You're fantastic. Okay, guys. I think let's wrap up our thoughts on this game, and I think it's time to put it behind us. It's a win. A win's a win. A win. It was ugly. We get it, but I think there's a lot more positive things to look forward to in this upcoming game. So, any other thoughts on the Texans game?
I'm just going to stick on the boat with Jared and the positivity, and David. Sounds like David's on board for that too. Of just, keep focusing on the positive parts of it, because it's easy to fall into the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Everything wasn't exactly perfect, but there were a lot of good things in that game that we need to focus on and be proud of ourselves on, especially with the cards that we've been dealt, and that this is, very early in the season for a pretty new young team with a brand new quarterback and coach. So I think we'll just keep it on a positive note.
Yeah.
Ugly win, but not the ugliest, and it was still a win.
Yeah. A win where people stepped up. Sutton stepped up. Stern stepped up. We're seeing good things from Gregory and Chubb even. So, look, a lot of positive things.
I mean, it's still a lot of great passes from Russell that, the touchdown was beautiful. That was exciting.
Yeah, it was.
So we have a lot of positivity to look at. So look at the good things and then move on and look forward.
And I'll tell you guys what, Sutton did, that connection really got going with Sutton this week, but they tried hard in that Seattle game. They were trying, I think every time, I don't really think it matters who the corner playing Sutton is as the season goes along. I think if you see him matched up one-on-one, Russ is going to look that way. Russ is going to throw that ball up there and see what happens. So, they're going to be taking a lot of shots to Sutton down the field this season. I'm just, it's really exciting to have a quarterback who can get the ball there, like every time.
And to a lot of different people, it seems to be spread out. It was kind of exciting to have Hinton back up in the mix too, because I kind of like watching that guy play. So
for sure.
Jared, what about you, bud?
Yeah, I think the reason Courtland Sutton did so well is because Jerry Jeudy's injury. I think it was unfortunate Jerry Jeudy had the injury, but you could tell that Russell and Jerry had a much better chemistry, and I think it's nice that he finally silver lining, right? I'm not saying it's good that anybody got hurt. I hate it, but the silver lining here is that now Russ has this chemistry with Sutton, so now he knows he can trust either one of those guys to do whatever he wants. And I think, unfortunately, from what I've seen in the last couple of games, looking at the film, he likes to favor 1 to 2 wide receivers, and he's he's kind of goes through his reads, but he's really looking for the 1 or 2 before he's kind of taken off or trying to dump it off into the flats and his outlook. So I'd like to see him get a little bit more comfortable with that. KJ Hamler injury going into the game was a little rough. So, but it is nice. So here's what I'll say too. Shout out to Saubert getting a touchdown in that game, and I think he played very well. Andrew Beck made me a little mad during that game for a lot of reasons.
There was a certain. I don't know if you want to blame Andrew Beck so much on the particular play that I think we're both thinking about. It was bad play, but. That was
you mean the jet sweep to him? Oh, no, that was not
the sprint option. Yeah,
the 1 yard.
Yeah, that sprint option where he went out there and got the ball and ended up getting stopped in the backfield. That is not his fault.
Hackett said there was a breakdown in the play. Somebody made a bad read. Didn't.
I'd say somebody made a bad read. Yeah.
So it's not Beck's fault entirely.
Wow.
I'm putting that on the coaching staff.
The coaching is like, why are we not handing it off to Javonte? Like,
just go up the middle.
Weird outside option run in the NFL with a tight end as your run. Like it just didn't make sense.
It's the same thing we're doing in the red zone right now. We're just trying to outthink the problem, and it's a really simple problem that you already have answers to.
Yeah, you have a couple easy answers. Yeah,
it's like you have a cheat sheet with the calculator, the little cheat sheet on the calculator in there, and it has the answer that you're looking for on the little cheat sheet. But instead, you decided to do this complicated formula that you learned in trigonometry that doesn't actually apply to this math problem. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen. I think
or you just guess poorly and like.
You're right.
I saw it once in the game, and I think it was a 3rd and 2. We had a double tight end set, and he went under center. I think that was the only time I ever saw it. We definitely didn't do it in the red zone again.
Nope.
But I saw it once. I was like, hey, we have a full set. We have the set for it. But we didn't do it in the red zone.
Did we run the ball one time in the red zone? Am I remembering that correctly? One time the whole day?
We did.
One time. No, that's what I'm saying. Once the whole day. That's what I recall.
Yeah, no, we did it once because it was the first 3 trips to the red zone. After 3 trips to the red zone, we finally ran it, and he got like we were on like the 15-yard line. Yeah, we were on the 15-yard line. He got down to the 2.
Yeah,
and then they were like, we're gonna try to pass this thing.
Yep. Yeah. Ish. Oof. All right, let's move on.
A lot there.
Let's move
on. Okay. Well, so like I said, big thing. 49ers coming to town. Sunday Night Football primetime game. And I think this team's looking for some redemption based off the performance they had, not just Monday night in Seattle, but this last week as well. There's still a lot of criticism around the team, a team that a lot of big talking heads were saying, Super Bowl bound. Obviously not saying that they'd let that get to their head or anything, but look, we all know the expectations for this team, what they're capable of. And Jared, you're right. You were talking about, it's been a couple weeks, maybe David, we've had the preseason essentially now. It is time to go, no more of this getting down to the 1 yard line and not being able to get it in the, in there, cleaning up the timeouts and the penalties. So, if we clean up half of the mistakes that we made this last game, I mean, we're going to have a chance, but I'll be honest, guys, and not to give away a score prediction here. But if we don't score at least 27 points, I don't know if we're going to win this game.
You
don't think so?
I don't think we're scoring no 27 points against the San Francisco defense. They're good.
I don't know if our defense is gonna.
I think we could.
I don't know.
They're good. It's not. We're not talking about the Texans defense or Seattle's got a couple of nice pieces here. The 49ers run like 7 deep on the defensive line. They've got Charvarius Ward, who Broncos fans know from Kansas City days as a very good corner. They've got a lot of pieces on that defense, and they've got one of the best inside linebackers in the league. I know this will turn Jared's eyes red with rage, but Fred Warner is out there playing for. It's gonna be like 9-6. Or 10-7, I think.
You really think it's going to be that low of a scoring game?
I definitely do. Okay. Especially, I do not think. I'm with Jared in that I don't think they're going. The offense
another boring game.
Yeah, I think that's the way it's going to be. I think the defense is going to play well and shut down Jimmy G, and I think it's going to be another rough outing from the offense.
Okay, so get the beer early in the stands.
Early and often, if you can.
Because yes, I will be there, Kat, and. Well, I mean, I was going to get beer one way or the other, obviously. So, but wow. What else you guys think?
I just want to point out that they, according to Pro Football Focus, they have the #1 defense in the league. So what David is saying is completely correct. Due to the inside linebacker play, they are the #1 defense in the league, and it's great to see that they have such elite inside linebackers to be able to get to that level. So hats off to them, but it's going to be very difficult to run against them because they have elite inside linebackers. It's going to be difficult to get the pass off. And Russell's going to have to really make some really smart decisions. They're #1 in the turnover game too. So we really need to be careful with our turnovers, which is something from week 1 to week 2 that we end up cleaning up. Our turnovers were the turnover ratio was much better in the second game. But yeah, first defense in the league. It's going to be a tough slide if we don't get some of the little stuff like so we call it our own. They're our own mistakes. They're not mistakes because somebody made a good play. They're mistakes that we created for ourselves. We got to clean those up. And if we can't clean those up, then obviously they're going to create mistakes for us as well. It's part of the game. Now you're talking about we have more mistakes than we have good things going for us, and it's just not a good slide for us.
Yep.
Well, and one easy area that, everybody's going to be talking about and that can be cleaned up on our side is penalties. We can't beat ourselves with 100 yards of penalties plus. Like that is something that if we knock even half of that out, that is a huge battle that would just work exponentially in our favor.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, 6 penalties a game is still a lot, but that's way better than what we've done in the last 2 games. How many more first down, drives are we going to keep alive if we cut that in half? Just little things like that. You're exactly right. So, when I'm sitting in the fans, and I get people are frustrated, but I'm hearing people talking about, this coaching staff's already failing. Like this was already.
Oh, and didn't we at least convert a 4th down last game?
We did.
Yeah, right. I'm just
we did.
And we won. Like I get it. I'll be honest. I was sitting in my car after the game, and I'm just like, oh, we won. Like, okay, I wasn't like super amped, but we won a game. We're better than the Raiders right now. So I don't know. But yeah, Joey, 3,100 no-shows on Sunday Mile High, which was, to be honest, a little lower than I thought. Based off of the way that first week game went, I thought there'd be a little bit more. I'd expect there'd probably be closer to 5,000, except, it doesn't sound like people are selling their tickets to make a quick buck. So if you have tickets, try to at least sell them to Broncos fans. But that's just me.
Yeah, and show up to the game. I mean, I can't even drag myself into the fan forums when everybody's so salty like that. I can't read it. I don't do it. I don't like it. I don't even participate. It's not my thing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's no need to. Rich, what's up? Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Richie.
Yeah,
so take this for what it's worth.
Rich?
The Denver Broncos are favored by 1.5 points this week. I think that is a at home.
It decreased a little bit.
At home because we're at home. The Broncos are favored by 2.5.
They were yesterday.
Yeah, it definitely changed.
It dropped to 1.5.
Yeah, it dropped down to 1.5. And don't feel super special. The Broncos haven't covered the spread once this season. We're 0-2 at covering the spread. However, I don't know. I think we have a chance in this game. I think the biggest part is the defense. Their strength is their defense. Our weakness is our offense, and I think that's really going to be what the game's going to come down to is how well can we bounce back from a shitty offensive game and come in and play one of the top defenses in the league. That's plain and simple. That needs to be it.
We got to protect Russell and give him time to work with it and, let him do what he does. Because once we get a few of those long ball connections, that'll be it. If we can get a couple touchdowns, I think that's going to be our bread and butter this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see. And Jared, those odds are actually the 49ers are favored 1.5 point favorites right now. So it's,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you read it wrong?
Are you on DraftKings?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 49ers minus 1.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and that line has changed because when the Texans game ended, I think the Broncos were 3.5 point favorites. on Sunday
it's
night.
just
So
one.
So that line has definitely moved a lot. But
Well, that's probably just because the way they mashed up on Seattle is why it changed. But
definitely. It's and then of course now San Francisco loses Trey Lance for the entire season in last week's game. And I'll be honest, I think the Broncos may have. And again, I don't want to, you don't want to talk about an injury as a good thing for your team, but that could have been a real matchup challenge for us. They were running a lot of QB power with Trey Lance, with the way this team has kind of been struggling to tackle, a bigger back like Dameon Pierce kind of ran where he wanted to run at times for the Texans this last week. Having Trey Lance barreling through the secondary is not what I wanted to see. That being said, Jimmy Garoppolo has been in this offense a long time and knows exactly what he's doing. And he knows exactly what the weapons that he has are. So, there's obviously weaknesses that the Broncos can use to attack him, but we definitely shouldn't think of it as now an easier matchup because, just because Trey Lance is gone.
Yeah.
No, I think our home field advantage will be the big factor against him too, because as long as our fans stay on board, man, I mean, we just need everybody to keep it classy in that stadium and keep the support going, because that's just not a good feeling to hear any kind of booing in there. I don't care if I don't know. I don't ever think it's super warranted, but just keep it classy for Russell. Help with the countdowns. Apparently that's helping a little bit.
No.
Yeah.
But
that's rough, man. That's rough.
Boggins, if you were riding your fantasy team on Trey Lance, then you probably have bigger issues than.
I wasn't going to kick the man while he's down, but that's not like a horrible. That's not a horrible point. Like
that's not horrible.
Boggins.
You took that big a gamble on Trey Lance. What's the rest of your team look like?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not to like segue too hard, but I did beat both of the Dandino brothers.
Excellent.
Here's Ayla drafting a kicker.
I know, drafting a kicker.
And I lose to
I would
her.
draft Ayla. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to care less. I'm going to care less about my team. And so far, so good.
Both of us. Hey, Clayton, more stars. Definitely appreciate it, man. Has a question here. Who's going to shine more this game? Our offense, defense, or special teams?
Defense, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be the defense because they're rushing. They're doing a lot of. Jared said this earlier, and we talked about it a little bit against the Texans. They're rushing 5 a lot. You talked about it too, Kev. They're blitzing a lot, and playing a lot more man coverage on the back end, and they're really holding up. It's working well for this Ejiro Evero defense, and I think you can really confuse Jimmy G, especially with post snap rotation. If you look like you're doing cover 2 before the snap and then, rotate one safety or a corner so it's cover 1 or something like that, you can really mess up what Jimmy G wants to do in rhythm. And I think that they will do that a lot this week, and I think that they will cause a couple of turnovers. And I think if they score on defense, that's going to win the game for them, but that's a little bit too much to predict right now.
Yeah, I mean, Joey says that 49ers are a championship caliber team. Broncos move the ball again. If I go back to the question, though, I think if we're going to win this game, it's going to be on big plays. And I think I would like to see special teams get a win, because there's been a couple where we're close to breaking them off. And I think our special teams is nice. A nice change of pace to see our special teams actually doing things, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to see our special teams break one off. But I'm with David. I don't think it's going to be the offense.
Yeah.
Got that.
I'll also say this. I think if it is the offense, it'll be big plays in the run game. I think the passing. Yeah.
I think they're going to break through on it.
I think they could. I think if they just line up and go straight at the 49ers, they could really do some damage there. But we'll see. Yep.
Even though we were just talking about their defense.
Yeah.
On the run.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Might make it for a slower first quarter or so, but man, once you start wearing those guys down, and it goes back. We were talking about this in the preseason too. Like Wilson does better when there's a strong run game, and not to say that we haven't had a really good run game. I mean, when you're averaging 6 yards carry by both your backs, essentially, that's really really good, right? but just haven't seen that next level, that breakout, the rushes, the 20, 30-yard rushes from Javonte. And he's almost gone away a couple times, but there's just a little extra level there that we saw last year.
And it's probably the warming up of it all too.
Oh yeah.
And I'll tell you,
I think this is the game.
Just wind it up. He's just getting all wound up.
Just go.
He's still breaking. I think he still breaks tackles the way he did last season. That to me is showing up. That's definitely carrying over. So I think he's close enough. He'll get.
Yeah.
One.
That's what I'm saying. He's right there.
He's turned a couple 2-yard losses into 5-yard gains. That last game, and it was really cool to see.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Boggin swinging big with the win big prediction. I love this. He's on the Jared train of enthusiasm.
Nice.
Oh, and I don't have enthusiasm.
No, you do too. You pulled me on.
Don't make me go get the pom pom, okay?
I mean, he straight up said, "Screw you, Ayla. You have no enthusiasm. Jared has all of it." That's what I heard.
That's what
I can't hear you yelling at games. Be louder.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Boggins could. Anyway, right. All right, guys. What do you think? Here's a question for you guys. We've got Jerry Jeudy and Pat Surtain kind of day to day as far as injuries we've heard for both of them. Would you guys prefer to have them back for this game, or would you rather have them rest for this game and be fresher and more healthy for the Raiders game?
My only concern, and we talked about this on the post-game podcast as well, my only concern is, would it be worth a little extra risk to have Surtain back out there, knowing Simmons is still out, right? On the wide receiver front, we bring back Hamler. So we got Sutton and Hamler. We have that deep over the top threat. I think we're okay there. I'd rather have Jeudy sit out one more week. Be careful, especially with his injury from last year and stuff. Like, let's just give him 1 more week, right? But so if we're gonna rush, if I had to pick one of those two, I would pick PS2 more so just for the reason that we're already missing Simmons there. So
I don't think Mathis played terrible.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't think
no,
but
he played better than he did at any point during the preseason. I thought, he had one coverage bust for sure in the end zone, but then that next play he came back and got a pass breakup. So. It was better. Yeah,
it just sucks when you're talking about. I mean, this is probably the first team we played with real wide receiver potential. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Like, yeah, it's a little rough. It's a little rough to think about.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jared. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel are going to be kind of calibers of wide receivers we haven't seen that yet this year for sure. DK Metcalf is really good, but I think they'll have more effective quarterback play to back up Samuel and Ayuk this week.
Well, and I think if they were to bring back Jeudy this week, we've already talked about how Wilson kind of tends to favor him. So, I mean, I think old habits would die hard and he'd just go back to that a little bit. And that would, everybody would know that that's going to be the target and might be a little bit easier. And it might be nice to give him another week with everybody else to keep those relationships working towards it too, to just give him more options longevity wise in the season.
I'm kind of with Rich. Okay, Jared.
I was just saying, I'm a little worried about the Garoppolo Deebo Samuel connection. Yeah, I mean they had it last year, and I think that's one of the things that's going to be very difficult to watch for this week is if we don't have PS2 out there playing against Deebo Samuel, it might be a long night for us.
I know. Anybody who's named Deebo is just built to be a beast in life, I think.
That's fact. That's fair.
Well, and what I will say is they use Deebo Samuel now. They've had injuries basically decimate their running back room. So Deebo Samuel is already their primary running back in week 2 again. So that's my concern is if he gets past the defensive line, are these linebackers going to be able to bring him down? Are they fast enough and elusive enough in space to get him? Because I'm having visions of him running into the secondary real fast. Yeah, and Jared, I see what you're doing. I see what you're saying. I think this is a problem that 99% of the linebacker cores in the NFL have matching up against Deebo Samuel as a running back. But that's the way that goes.
I'm just saying we'd be more comfortable if we felt more comfortable at our inside linebacker positions.
It's true. It's true. Will there be some of that inside crap this week? I don't know. We'll have to see with the linebackers. Kyle Shanahan inside zone. It's possible.
Oh man,
guys! If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about me and my ridiculous. I shouldn't say ridiculous. It's pretty legit.
I'll say ridiculous.
It's pretty legit take on the Orange Weekly pregame podcast. That we need some inside linebacker help, and I think it's super important, more than anything than on the defensive side. By the way, guys, if you guys aren't following and subscribing to the podcast, pregame, postgame podcast, please go to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, whatever you get your podcast, and hit that subscribe button. While I'm on that note, while you guys are listening to the Orange Weekly pregame podcast, David, you know where I'm going with this?
I know exactly where you're going with this, and I am so excited.
I'm excited because I like to listen to my pregame podcast, the postgame podcast. I don't listen to myself. I listen to the postgame podcast using the Raycon wireless earbuds to do it. Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. Don't they, David?
They do, Jared. Now, why do they sound better, Jared? Would you say it has something to do with the tips?
Oh, it has something to do with the optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit. These earbuds are so comfortable, they will not budge. Trust me. Raycon gives you 8 hours of playtime and 30 hours of battery life. Raycon priced just right. You can get your audio at half the price of the other premium audio brands. And it's no wonder Raycon's earbuds have over 50,000 five-star reviews. These are a couple good things. We just talked about it. The gel tips, super important.
Cradling
3 customizable sound.
Ears.
3 customizable sound profiles, noise isolation, and awareness mode. So this is what we need you guys to do. You need to go to buyraycon.com today. Use the code TPPN15 to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's TPPN15 at buyraycon.com to score 15% off. Buyraycon.com, code TPPN15.
I love it. Those gel tips, they
guys,
doesn't matter.
They snuggle up in your ear canal, and it's like falling asleep.
Best snuggling David's had in a long time.
Well, Jared won't snuggle me anymore, so I have to get it where I can.
Rob, we're in a different time zone, David. We can't cuddle the same way we used to.
Not the same. Rob, well, you know we don't rehearse. Jared and I are masters of improvisation.
It's true.
Yes,
it's true. Speaking of improvisation, I'm trying to become funnier, and so I'm taking classes, and those are expensive. Okay, I'm not. If you're going to take improv classes, you're not going to settle for $5. You're going to spend quality money, get a quality instructor, right? Well, that's expensive, and so we're going to do another ad read to help pay those bills. So stick with us, everybody. Hey, we are going into week 3. Things are going crazy. We're seeing. Like the Raiders blow huge leads. We're seeing teams win that we didn't expect to win, so on and so forth. We are full swing into this action. And you can find the action also at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We're talking touchdowns, big plays, even bigger wins. If you're a new customer, you can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. And if that's not enough, everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings Step Up same game parlays. Right now, for every leg you add, you can boost your winnings up to 100%. With bigger payouts, why bet on football anywhere else? To make things even sweeter, you can throw down on stepped up same game parlays once per game all season long. Here's what you do to get on this. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code TPPN to get $200 in free bets if your team wins and when you place a $5 bet on any football game. Again, that's TPPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Excellent.
Can we talk about that Oakland game? Sorry, the Las Vegas game?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, was I so happy to watch that after our game ended.
That was fun.
It was a great
was
timing.
fun.
I don't know how it worked out for you guys, but the game ended. It clicked over to me for and they were getting ready to go for the 2-point conversion.
Yep.
To tie the game to go into overtime, and I was like, "This is happening. This is going to be a great day." And then they did it, and then they got the ball. They couldn't get down the field. They punted, and then the fumble recovery for 6 was just icing on the cake of a day. And love a Broncos win and a Raiders loss in the same day. Just you can't get better than that.
I know,
that.
and it was the champagne shaken super early. It just was like so epic to just shut that down. I mean, those fans were they were out of control, thinking they just had it in the bag, and that was great.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I really loved the zoomed in camera angle that on that last play live. They just they thought the play was over, so they zoomed in real close to and then the ball just happened to come right into the frame, and you could see it being picked up and God, it was poetry in motion.
It was awesome. The only one better, and I wish this would have happened to the Raiders, but it didn't, was the Cleveland Browns and the Jets. 17-30 with 2 minutes left in the game, and somehow the Jets win 31-30. You can't make it up. Just great Sunday football.
Joe Flacco.
With Joe Flacco throwing dimes out there like he's 28 and not 108. It's great.
Tua Tagovailoa out there throwing dimes too. Everybody wanted to bury Tua, but man alive, did he? I mean, what they did to the Ravens was impressive.
Yeah, so another comeback.
Did.
Yeah, that's a dangerous team this year. They're really well coached.
Which is interesting because interesting to watch through the rest of the season and through future seasons, because he's not a football guy. He's an analytics. He's a stats guy. He's not a football guy. The coach over there in Miami, he is. He's a stats guy. He's been a coach in the NFL, but he's not. He never played.
No, he never played. That's true. No, he's one of. He's in that, he's in that Kyle Shanahan group of buddies. That's where he really came from. I mean, Mike McDaniel hung around Denver for a long time. He was the ball boy for the Mike Shanahan Broncos. He's known Kyle Shanahan forever. You're right, Jared. That's definitely how he got his in. But he's doing some really interesting things, and they seem to be working so far.
And when he was hired, it was interesting, watching his pregame or his conference or whatever when he was hired. It was he was like, guys, I'm not here to be buddy with people. I'm here to use stats. I'm here to use analytics. If you don't meet the threshold, you're not getting on the team. It seems like a very Moneyball type situation. And I'm interested to see 5 or 6 years down the road when they do a documentary on him and see how this went down, because I'd be super interested to see how this is all happening, because you went from Tua, I'm not even going to try it, to playing terrible last year to now he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Yeah. He is absolutely killing it out there.
And to your point, Jared, Mike Gesicki, their star receiving tight end, one of the top 5 receiving tight ends in the league, can't get on the field because he doesn't block. And because he doesn't block, the Mike McDaniel offense doesn't have a place for him as tight end.
Crazy?
Yep.
And he's one of their highest paid players, and he can't see the field because he can't do what their offense needs him to do. And their offense is better. It's good now.
Yeah.
It's legitimately effective.
Let's call a trade.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a stab because I have him in my fantasy league and you're just kind of stabbing at me that he's been doing terrible and I drafted him.
A little bit.
I didn't know that, but now that you've said it, it is kind of a stab. Yeah.
Okay. As long as we're all on the same page.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's assume most things that David say are very calculated and thought out anyways. So
especially in the name of insulting Jared. Yes.
Yes. It's on
Which, David, why is your team name still just Team Satan?
I haven't thought up a clever enough original insult.
You've always been Kev Dan's platform shoes.
I know.
Always been
I'm thinking maybe this year of switching it up to me another short joke about you. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, we're I'm trying to be original this year, but I'm tired.
God.
Yeah, David's not exactly known as the witty or clever one of the group,
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not David. No, not at all.
You guys say a lot of things to hurt my feelings, and it's fine, but there's a thing called crossing the line.
And did we cross it?
I
just kidding. I don't care. Anyway, Yes,
Did everyone
I
see
was
Kev Dan on the news day?
Again, it was
Yes.
fantastic. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, before we maybe start thinking about some closing thoughts and whatnot, first off, we're doing backstage tonight, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
YOLO.
So backstage
I have
after
to
this.
take off. David promised everybody that I'm taking off my shirt, so we have to.
That's true. That's true. So let's see. Orange Weekly backstage will start after this on our YouTube channel only. So make sure you check that out. I'll have the link here at the bottom for you guys to go find that. Yeah, Denver royalty, not quite yet there. Working on it.
He's this close to getting a key to the city.
Well, I do have a crown on order. Like it's in the mail. So
A tiara?
crown. No, it's a crown. Okay.
Kevin. Kevin.
That was great. Just so straight faced.
I said crown.
So
you go
straight
tiara.
faced. Just like you mean a tiara. Like it's a Kevin, it's a tiara. Like
Okay, let's pause a second. Hey, Ayla, what jersey are you wearing there?
Oh, Kev ordered an extra large little kid's jersey
I
of
did.
his, so he gave it to me because it didn't fit him.
Yep. Yay!
aww, rocking the Kev Dan
Anyway.
jersey.
So Kevin got it. I think Kevin ordered it before he got the shoulder implant surgery that he had,
Yeah.
and now before it fit him before.
It
but-
fit him long ways the entire time.
right, exactly.
But it just,
Mhm. Yeah. So now he's.
But
now
I
he's
feel it.
super
I
hot.
feel it out quite perfectly right now. I hope by the end of this season, I'm just swimming in it because I'm like, super fit Broncos girl, and I can wear the Broncos bikini again to celebrate our Super Bowl win. But
There you
we'll
go.
get there. We'll get there
There you
later.
go. So
I
yeah,
also
this is
plan
kind of
on
the
wearing a
talk.
Broncos bikini to celebrate our Super Bowl win. So
Yeah,
I'll be right there with you. in the gym.
with our matching
I hope so.
tiaras
with their matching tiaras.
under
Hey,
the
if we win the Super Bowl
poncho.
this year,
Under the
everybody in
poncho.
Orange
Just
Weekly
wear
gets
the
a tiara.
poncho.
Well, I think we should all get a bikini if we get to the Super Bowl this year. I would
Oh.
like a. I would like yes.
Bikini if we get to the Super Bowl, tiara if we win the Super Bowl.
Deal. I will.
Deal.
Yes,
Okay.
I will wear both.
Awesome.
Are we in
This is the
backstage
kind of
already?
talk you can hear. This is the kind of talk you're
This
going
is
to hear.
it's Rob
us
saying,
do on the
this is the
backstage.
backstage content.
So there's a little hint for you guys on what to expect. We do have some closing thoughts up on the Broncos coming up, but do want to remind you all of the other awesome Broncos content we have. First off, make sure give us a like on this video, hit the share button, subscribe. Pretty much, if you don't do those things, it means you don't like the Broncos. It's kind of a test, so make sure that you pass the test.
You guys like
but
the
Come
definitely
on over
appreciate
to
it.
our Instagram, you guys. Come give us a
Instagram, Twitter.
follow on Twitter.
Yes.
We've got all
At
the
Orange
social meets up there, kids.
I like it.
That's how you
I like
abbreviate
it.
that for the
I
kids.
think my
Social
water
meets.
wine's kicking in, you guys. This backstage is going to be
This is good.
great.
It's gonna be great.
Great.
Don't forget, we also have Monday night Orange Weekly After Dark that starts around 9 p.m. It's after Monday Night Football, so you guys can check us out then. This show every Tuesday night, Bourbon Broncos No BS, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We also got the post-game podcast and the pre-game podcast, as mentioned earlier, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher. The post-game podcast is up. This week we have a special guest. A 49ers fan will be joining us on the pre-game podcast. We'll be joining Jared and David anyway to help give their insights. And then I'll be joining their podcast tomorrow night. We'll maybe get that link for people if they want to check it out so we can have that collaboration and discussion there as well. Also, game day. If you're going to the games, first off, make sure you go to the back of Lot C and find Scott the Flagman. That's where I'm always at every tailgate. Fantastic guy. Don't worry about, I don't know anybody. I'll tell you what, that was me last year when I went up there. I didn't know anyone. Ayla was like, go check these guys out. Super inviting. They have drinks. They have food. If you want to bring some drinks or food, to help share. But
It's
that's
always
really,
fun.
otherwise,
Yeah, it's always fun to bring a little something to add to the
great
party.
people. Yep, great people.
Everybody's there.
Super
I mean,
fun and
I've gone
inclusive.
twice.
Super fun and
Yeah.
inclusive.
Every time I've gone, Kevin's ditched me, and I had to just meet new friends, and it was great, and I did, and it was awesome. So go meet.
I
new
didn't
friends
ditch you on
with Flagman.
purpose. I'm just so little. I'm so short that when the crowd gets, I can't see above the crowd.
Oh,
I just
that's-
lost you.
Oh, finally.
You lost
I
me. So
You
I
know
didn't
what,
ditch you.
Kev? We
You
got to
lost
get
me.
you one of those
You should get
backpacks,
leash.
like the monkey
Yeah.
backpacks. It's
Yes.
Yeah.
Only if it's a monkey
Yeah.
though. None of this like
Yeah,
other animal.
you could put
crap.
beer in
I
it.
don't
It'll
know.
be
I
great.
feel like you
Yeah.
could just do like one of the thing, like a baby Bjorn that you strap to your chest, and then you just kind of lower Kev into it. And you won't lose him that way.
People are gonna think like I'm like 3 feet tall or something. Like,
I mean, your legs.
Then
just
you might
gotta
as
watch
well
out
get
for his legs.
the cool hiking backpack so he's like up on his shoulders. That'll be even better.
Get
You know,
one.
so he'll be like, look, Dad, I'm so tall. Look at me.
Get one like you get for cats, like that has like a plastic observation bubble.
That'd be a
So we can
really
stick his
big,
head in
a
there.
really big
Scratch.
cat.
Yeah,
That'd be
exactly.
a really big cat.
I mean, a kind of big cat. It's
you guys are
all right,
ridiculous.
backstage.
Anyway, if you're not at the game,
Backstage.
if you're not at the game, make sure you check out Tailgate Talk live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube about an hour before kickoff. And then we are the original live halftime show. We all know what you do when halftime starts. Everybody does the same thing. You pick up your phone and you leave to go get snacks or do whatever, and you don't listen to the TV announcers. Join us on our live show, Halftime Hash. Share your thoughts on the first half of the game with us. Let's talk about it. Makes halftime go a whole lot quicker and a whole lot more enjoyable before we get to the second half of the game. Also, David's article, My View from Section 506. Is that it? Yep.
That's right.
You can check that out on BroncosOrangeWeekly.com. This week's article should be going up there tomorrow or so.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of content for you guys, but we do it for y'all. And as long as you guys keep watching, listening, and reading our content, we're gonna stick around. So,
Love it.
with that being said, let's do some closing thoughts, guys. Getting close to the backstage show here. So again, make sure you go to our YouTube. But Jared, let's start with you, good sir. What you got in your mind?
You were talking that entire time, and I probably should have been thinking of what I wanted to say.
That's usually why I start it with before we do our closing thoughts.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Where were
Yeah.
you, Jared? What were you thinking about there?
The old school toy monkey that just ting, ting,
Yeah, sure.
ting. That's basically where I was at that whole time. Okay, so
Welcome
Denver
back,
Broncos at home again. I think so. We're 1-0 at home, which is nice, and I think I want you guys. Don't want to give away too much because me and David still have to do the pregame podcast. We're gonna have the 49ers fan on there with their podcast, and I think it's gonna be really good. I think we're gonna go really in depth. So I don't want to go super in depth here, but that defense is scary. And this is not going to be. This is going to be the first game I think that's going to be really difficult to go, and we're going to go line by line. So make sure you guys join in on that. I have a lot of disappointment in the last couple games, but I also have a lot of optimism because the things that we're doing wrong compared to the last 5 years are things that we can fix.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it's so cool to see that they're self-inflicted. That once we stop the self-inflicted wounds, we're good to go. And once we stop those self-inflicted wounds, I think in the long run we're going to be better. And this next game is going to be just another step towards that. We're just going to keep getting better and go towards the season. Are you guys laughing at me?
I'm not laughing at anybody.
No, I forgot about this comment here.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
No, we pulled that up while you were talking, Kev.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why my brain was here.
But that was funny.
Oh, good stuff,
stuff.
Jared.
Yeah.
I'll go into it and just
Okay.
I want to pump up our fans and say let's be enthusiastic this game. I know we've all had a little bit of it, like some minor disappointments in this first couple games, but let's be good fans like we always say that we are, and let's cheer on our team. This is going to be an exciting game. We're going to get a lot of viewers on TV. Hopefully everybody shows up and just cheers their brains out as loud as my banshee scream would be. And don't lose hope just yet. It's the beginning of the season, y'all. Just keep the faith, keep the positive thoughts rolling. We could always dwell on negative, but that's never any good. So my shout out is to the fans, and keep the hope alive, and keep it classy.
Keep it classy, Denver. I love it. Look, I get the frustrations from fans. I do. I understand it. It's been a long 6+ years, and I understand why the rope is so short with Coach Hackett, because people are already sick of this crap, right? be patient, guys. Like, whatever you gave Fangio and Vance Joseph time to get into the roles, give Hackett the same, So for me, look, you don't have to be happy with what's going on the field, right? But try to be understanding. And so that's where I'm going to stick with. I gave Vance Joseph and Vic Fangio the same exact thing, 2 years to learn. In that third year, absolutely no more excuses. That's where I'm going to be. And I think we're in a different situation now. We got the team, we got the talent, we got the quarterback, we got the ownership, we got the GM. They made a really smart choice. I think, you're already seeing it with these young coaches and the coaching staff. There's things are on the right track, and our ceiling hasn't been this high since the Peyton Manning days. So it's frustrating now, but this team's going to keep getting better, guys. And that's where I'm at. Let's see what they do Sunday. I'm the one positive for me, again, I'm going to say it again. Russell Wilson 17-4 against the 49ers. I want to be surprised if it's more of a situation where Hackett's like, hey, man, this team, you're 17-4 against them. If you see something on the field, man, call, you kind of take the charge with what you see and make those decisions on the field. So we'll see what happens. But either way, I think it's going to be a good game. But awesome. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Again, make sure you go to our YouTube
David,
right after this.
We skipped over David.
You just kept
your thoughts.
straight over.
No,
Okay, David,
no.
I thought that was yours.
It's fine.
Okay, well,
It's fine.
David.
No,
David,
it's all
go.
right. Okay.
We'll save the handsome one for last.
I see.
He's
That's
the
well
best
done.
eye roll
That's
ever.
fine. That's fine. No, it's good. No, I want to
Okay, and thank you guys for joining us. I really appreciate the show.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. That's fine. We can wait. No, I'll wait.
No, David, we're ready for you.
Yeah, David. all you, man.
Your shine is time to shine.
Thank you. No, so I really
No,
wanted to
seriously,
get
guys,
out-
thanks for tuning in tonight. We really enjoyed
I'm not going to live that one down. Okay.
No, now you'll have to wait. If you guys want to see my final thoughts, you have to come to backstage. That's fine.
Oh.
That's the only way you're going to see him now.
Okay. We'll do
That's
that.
it.
Hey, if you want to hear it, let's go on over there. So, hey guys, do appreciate you tuning in. Remember, check out all of our content. We'll be here game day and check you out then. But otherwise, guys, I think there's only one thing left to say. You ready?
Oh.
We end it on a very
Go.
strong, as always. Let's
ride.
Broncos.
Yeah, I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Sipping goose, sip is right. And I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. Yeah, I go with the flow. Cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go. In the zone, here I go.